Every body part, visible or invisible, has a name that deserves to be known and used. The body also includes those parts that are sex-specific. The need for details, like naming the clitoris, for example, should come at the time when the child openly explores them and asks for it. A good advice is always to be a little ahead, sensing when the time is to introduce the right name. Unnamed body parts create an unnecessary discomfort for the body part owner. By not naming, we are shaming. In fact, children perceive an unnamed body part as a taboo that creates discomfort in adults, and therefore they learn the discomfort. Depending upon local cultures and customs, the growing child's body parts are to an increased degree secluded from the public eye. How children consider their body parts is partially dependent on the caregivers. Um, but as the children grow, there will be more inputs from the outside, the society and the culture, such as the school, the friends, and the teachers. Their bodies are covered more and more, distinguishing more clearly what is public and what is private. A fundamental rule of the thumb is that the more tabooed a body part is, the more public shame will be linked to it, and the harder it will be for a child to talk about the part, even when they will report an abuse. This gives us reason to discuss the losses and or the benefits that may come out from this shame. So in this slide, you will find some questions to reflect about how we see nudity, what we think about it, and what relationship we have with our genitals. Our attitudes will influence how children will experience their bodies and their sexuality, whether they feel comfortable or not with their bodies. Usually, we should also recognize that most cultures, a naked male body is more accepted than a female one, and thus may influence the way in which children see their bodies, also based on the biological sex. Babies and young children have initially no shame of their naked bodies. They begin to internalize modesty at the age of 5 or 6 years old. Children begin to become aware of their own body and nudity and instinctively protect the private parts. When children express the desire to cover the private parts, it is important to listen to their needs and look for ways to satisfy them. The feelings of modesty and shame have a strong social connotation. It is closely linked to the need to hide a part of oneself from others, from one's own body or from one's emotional world, for fear of showing and exhibiting one's weaknesses, but also because children begin to perceive that genitals have something to do with sexuality that is a taboo issue. Modesty or fear of disclosure can also be risk factors for not disclosed abuse. The shame of body parts disclosed can also contribute to the victim not telling anybody what has happened. And in this sense, fear of judgment and shame present the most widespread reason why victims of abuse, child or also adults, do not report and do not ask for help with respect to a suffered sexual abuse. Knowing the body, giving a name to each observable part, and knowing how to distinguish between public parts, which everyone can see and touch, and private parts, which no one can see or touch except for specific cases, for example, hygiene or medical examination, is the key for a balanced relationship with our bodies and health. Working on this aspect at school and in the family, doing exercises and awareness-raising tasks help to take the first steps to prevent unwanted contact and increase the ability to say no to unwanted situation or relationship and context, also called consent. There are parents who try to soften the impact of sexually loaded words like vulva or penis. They prefer to use other, less impressive words to describe their children's genitals. This is not bad as long as children know what the real names of these body parts are. You can take advantage of specific moments to perform a body part naming game. such as when you dress them, change the diaper, or when children are at the bathroom. But you need to do it naturally, and you need to give the words and terms you use a positive connotation. For example, now I'm going to lather your penis, or look at your testicles, let's clean them too. Uh, Remember that avoiding taboos regarding sex avoids silence if there is a sexual abuse.